The Money in the Bank main event has been revealed. Plus, we have an update on TNA's Blood ban, and a major AEW match is returning at Double or Nothing. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. Look in my eyes, what do you see? Punk and Cena at MITB? Well, that was the speculation, at least, that we had, because Cena, as part of the Unseen 17, kind of doing a bit of a greatest hits tour. And with Money in the Bank round the corner, there was talk of them throwing back and showing down on in a bit of a comeback from their match in 2011 to do CM Punk versus John Cena for the title at Money in the Bank in 2025. We have an update on that this morning, don't we, Andrew?
Yes, we do. PW Insider saying that in speaking with several WWE creative sources, we are told that match is not in the current plans for the pay-per-view, although WWE does want to get to that bout later this year when the timing is right, in quotes there, as one source stated.
So if we're not going to see Punk and Cena at Money in the Bank, what are we going to see? Well, PW Insider goes on to say...
They do. They say there's a belief in creative circles that musician Travis Scott will be available for Money in the Bank, and there have been pitches for he and Cena teaming in either a tag team or six-man tag of some sort. One would think that would mean Cody Rhodes would be on the opposing side, but we'll see. Scott has been training off and on with Booker T in Texas.
So we had some talk earlier on in the year of a Travis Scott in-ring debut, and then we saw him appearing at Elimination Chamber with the Rock and Cena connection that wasn't even a thing, so shut up, why are you even asking about it? Travis Scott turned up to help John Cena win the title, and it looks as if it might lead to a tag match, and that tag match could take place at Money in the Bank. Cody on the other side. Who teams with Cody in that situation?
Would it have to be, do you think, like another celebrity?
Bad Bunny.
I was thinking Bad Bunny as well. But then would one musician want to do the job to the other musician?
That is a problem that I don't think musicians have had ever since that Chaz and Dave versus the Monkees Hell in a Cell in the 90s. Like, not since then have we encountered such a problem. Yeah, I think like because you've got the Money in the Bank ladder match where you're going to have Carnage twice on the show with the women's and the men's briefcase being contested for. You can have a tag team main event. They did it last year with the Usos versus Roman and Solo.
Yeah, they did.
A high stakes all-star tag team match would be probably the way to go. They would do it there. Now, meanwhile, over in TNA, a lot of conversation this week about a plan to ban bloodletting and blading on TNA programming. This comes as TNA are looking for reportedly a new television deal. Fightful Select following up saying that management felt TNA as a brand was going overboard with bloodletting in recent times. They wanted blade jobs to mean more whenever they allowed them, whenever that might be again. Now, we've had a follow-up on this again from TNA president Carlos Silva, and he set the record straight with Sports Illustrated's John Alba. What did he say, Andrew?
He said, Silva said when addressing talent in the meeting, it was instead done to encourage the locker room to utilize brutality and intentional bleeding more sparingly, coming off of two extreme incidences in a short period of time.
Yeah, he says TNA is open to having blood or extreme violence if the talent and creative feel it is earned for their story or the stakes of the match. He also cites logistical issues that come with heavy blood setting and bloodletting in matches, because obviously the canvas is going to be ruined. Yeah. You're going to need a second canvas. You're going to need a bigger boat. So I think the story of TNA banning blood altogether seemingly blown out of proportion in the case they've just gone, look, we just want to do it when it's important and when the stakes are highest. And I'm completely on board with that. Yeah. Like if every match is claret infused, then no match is going to mean as much.
It loses that impactfulness, doesn't it? And we've said, again, as we've said multiple times on the news and in videos before, I think it does make it a little bit more impactful when it is used sparingly. I thought maybe with like the partnership stuff with WWE as well, I thought this might be the case at some point down the line anyway.
Yeah, you feel it's obvious that TNA are going to some extent, toe the line a little bit with what WWE set as their standards and practices. And WWE isn't one to have large amounts of blood setting. They'll do it as and when they need to, but otherwise, that's about when they will do it. TNA are presenting Under Siege coming up at the end of this month. It's taking place in Brampton, Ontario, Canada. Jeff can't wrestle there, but Matt is challenging for the tag team titles with a partner of his choosing. He's chosen his partner.
He has indeed, and I'm so buzzing for him as well. He has selected honorary Hardy Leon Slater, which is awesome. Also, a little bit of something. Slater recently appeared alongside Cultaholic's Tom Campbell on BBC. Did he really?
Wow.
On BBC Leeds, Yorkshire, to talk about TNA Wrestling and North's upcoming show at the Project House in Leeds as well.
Yeah, Leon Slater's got a very busy schedule at the moment. He's bouncing between the US and the UK all the time, but he's going to be in Brampton, Ontario, teaming with Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy has called him an honorary Hardy boy.
I mean, I'm so buzzing for him because not long ago, Leon obviously, I think it was Fightful, he had an interview with, and he was like, I get to go to work with my heroes. Not every 20-something-year-old can go in there and say, these are the guys that I've grown up with, and now I get to be in a tag team match with them. So, I mean, absolutely buzzing for him.
I'm just delighted for him. And it was when he was in the news recently, of course, there was that incredible 450 swanton off the Ultimate X.
Yeah.
We talked about it on BBC Radio Leeds. You can listen to the interview on BBC Sounds right now. But he took that 450 swanton and he hit the ground. There was a lot of question marks about whether people should have caught him and all this. But it was AJ Francis who said as he hit the ground, he asked if he was okay. And Leo went, yeah, I'm a Hardy, I'm fine. Good lad. Slater challenging for the tag titles alongside Matt Hardy, taking on the Nemeths at Under Siege at the end of this month. Meanwhile, AEW presenting Double or Nothing next weekend. And we have the return of an AEW favourite next weekend.
Oh, we sure do. So after the Steel Cage main event last night on Dynamite Beach Break, we saw a brawl with Swerve Strickland, the Ops, Kenny Omega, and Willow Nightingale. They battled the Death Riders. Gabe Kidd, what's he doing? Putting the briefcase in there and letting Moxley hit. I can't believe it.
Nutty boy.
But he was wearing a Newcastle United t-shirt. So Ross likes them, right?
We all like them,
except
Jack, because Sunderland's a massive club.
Jack is going to be fuming with Gabe Kidd then, I'm sure. And the Young Bucks came out as well, but when the dust settled, Swerve Strickland throws down the challenge for Anarchy in the Arena at Double or Nothing next Sunday, which is going to be a delightful time full of incredible spots, I am sure.
It could potentially be like a groundbreaking Anarchy in the Arena match because it could be 7-on-7 and it could be intergender for the first time ever.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
There are always wild and woolly matches. That'll be at Double or Nothing next weekend. Stay tuned to Cultaholic for all the build up to AEW Double or Nothing across next week. Now, you may have heard that Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan are launching their own freestyle wrestling promotion, Real American Freestyle. I had the chance to have a chat with Eric Bischoff himself all about it. Eric and I talk about what he and Hogan envision the show to be, some of the preconceptions and misconceptions about freestyle amateur wrestling. We talk about the promo that kind of arced back to the NWO as well. And also, we bring up the fact that it has the same initials as the Royal Air Force.
Oh, it does
Which
as well.
I don't think they really noticed when they set this up. But Eric's answer to that question is wonderful, and you can hear it on the Cultaholic Wrestling News podcast feed a little later on today. And for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Kiss, keys.
I love you, bye.